Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to take a look at a very unusual case from our friends over at Inwin, the Inwin Alice. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at a unusual case from our friends over at Inwin. Now this has been sent to me free of charge for review purposes, and this will not affect my judgment in any way, shape or form. I find this to be an extremely interesting proposition, as this is a computer case which also doubles up as a user test bench or just an open air computing environment. So this is a very unusual proposition. Now this case itself is primarily built from ABS plastic. It has a metal substrate for the motherboard and all your peripherals to attach to, and is, well, it's slightly unusual looking, let's be completely honest. So what we've got here is a lightweight chassis. Now it's very lightweight, it's only a few pounds in weight, and most of that weight actually is from the top panel and the metal on the inside. The plastic itself is very, very lightweight indeed. So let's take a quick tour around the system and take a look. This is really, really odd. So first of all, on the top we have got a plastic top case which has got the Inwin logo stamped on it. Now this section is removable to give you access to the top of the chassis. So if I just pop that off, so that just clips in, and this gives you access to your I/O ports, your power supply and some of the fans. So if I take the rest of the case off, or its clothing off, you can get a better idea of what is actually going on inside. Now this is actually supplied with two fabric dressings, one of which is a plain grey. This is the, obviously, as you can see, the Inwin pattern logo, which almost looks like a kind of a cowhide, which I think is quite nice, quite unique. And actually, these fabric cases, or covers rather, are completely breathable. So this essentially acts as a massive dust filter all around the case. Now, because it's also slightly transparent as well, if you're planning on some RGB lighting inside on your rig, then that is going to show through really nicely, which hopefully in an upcoming build I will be showing. I'm actually waiting for a motherboard to go in this, but as soon as I've got it, we'll be doing a full build in this so you can see exactly how it all goes together. But let's take the dressing off. Now the dressing is elasticated around the edges, and because it is a fabric, it is completely washable. So if you spill something on it or you get something on it, then you can just stick it in the washing machine and you're all good. Now it's mostly held in place by these ridges along the sides, so this will keep it all nicely taut and where it should be. And if I flip round now to the bottom, actually you can see this is the other cover which comes through. This is the grey one. Now on the bottom there is this other mesh as well, which is a slightly less dense mesh, which is designed for airflow. So if I take out the accessories in here, so the accessories box or packet is very minimalistic. You've got some motherboard mounting pillars, you've got some cable ties and a couple of screws, and that is about it. But that is about all you really need for this. So if I flip this round, you can see the mesh on the bottom. So on the bottom, as you can see, it's a very loose mesh. Again, it's fabric, so this is going to be fantastic for dust prevention and really nice and easy to clean. Just flip it over, vacuum it, and it should be absolutely fine. I'll take this off completely now. So there we go, we can take that away and just stick it straight into the washing machine, no worries. So this bottom section here, you've got 4 rubber feet. It's raised off the ground by about 1.5 to 2 inches. It does come down slightly on this side, but you've got about 2 inches of clearance on the floor, so even if you've got slightly thicker carpets, you could stand this up and you'll still have relatively good airflow coming in from the base here, which is where they're kind of pointing in the direction of where your fans should be. So you can, if you want to, you can use this completely fanless if you're using it like an open air test bench and you want to get ambient temperature results, that kind of thing, you can do. But there's actually 3 mounting sections here for 120mm fans. You can also put in there, if you want to, up to a 360mm radiator. If you want to go all out on cooling, maybe some kind of elaborate water cooling solution. Again, this is designed with complete flexibility in mind. You can pretty much do in here whatever you like. The only real restrictions are where you put the power supply, which goes in this section here at the bottom. So that is where your power supply will be mounted. And then on the front of that section, You've got these areas here for mounting SSDs or 2.5-inch drives. You can put a 3.5-inch drive on there as well. You can fit one of those in, a couple of SSDs. But this top section here is where your motherboard will be mounted, and it mounts in a cross method. So all your I/O is going to be up here at the top, and your motherboard would work across here with your PCI Express slots down this section. And at the top here, there is a section to mount the graphics cards. So you can mount the graphics card in your traditional area, in the PCI Express expansion areas, or you can put it in this section here to give you that kind of horizontal or vertical mounted GPU. So if you've got a particularly big GPU, like maybe an older R9 2900X, something like that, or one of the kind of Titan cards, you've got a massive amount of room here to drop a card. Essentially, you could drop a card from this section all the way to the bottom, depending where your radiators and fans are, but you've got a heck of a distance there to put in really, really large cards. Or again, a water cooling solution on your graphics card if you saw fit. So in terms of layout, that is pretty much it. All we've got in the form of I/O is a power button, which is here on the front. I've got there's a blue LED in that which lights up. So again, it's very, very minimalist. You've got no USB ports, no pass-throughs, nothing like that. Literally all of your ports are going to come off your motherboard into this top I/O section, which would be here. So that is it for actual I/O. There's nothing else anywhere else, which to some people may be a little bit of a kind of odd proposition. But again, if you're using it as a test bench, there's no reason why you can't just put the unit down on the side like this. So you'd have your motherboard mounted in this area, you've got your coolers, fans drawing in air this way, completely open, and everything's easily accessible, so you can go in there and do whatever you want. Nice and easy to swap out fans, all those kinds of things. If you're into bench testing, you could swap out a fan really, really easily in this. Even if you've got the cover on as well, it's nice and easy to just raise the cover up, get access, pull the cover back down, and job is done. Now, obviously, noise-wise, this is going to be as noisy as your loudest component. There is virtually no sound deadening whatsoever. The only kind of sound deadening we've got really is the rubberized feet on the bottom, which are more likely to stop vibrations and that kind of thing. But as far as sound deadening, all you've got is the fabric to absorb any noise. So if you're planning on building a silent PC, this may not be the greatest of ideas, but for flexibility and for making something which is just a little bit different, this is going to be fantastic. I'm actually genuinely excited to actually put a build in this. It's going to be very, very good fun. So if we look at the back of the chassis, so this is the mounting area for, you've got loads of access here for your CPU mounting. So if you've got an elaborate cooler, something like maybe a Be Quiet, one of the Dark Rocks, one of the bigger ones, with a mounting bracket on the back, you've got nice easy access to that. Really good cutout. You have actually got some cable management cutouts here and here. Whether or not they're going to be much use to you, I honestly don't know. Depends what your plans are, how neat and tidy you want it to be. These channels, they rise up the plastic, they are recessed, so if you are kind of a bit of a cable management freak, there's no reason why you can't put your cables in there. You could cable tie them. Again, because this is moderately thin plastic, there's no reason why you couldn't either put some small pilot holes in there to put cable ties in if you wanted to, or sticky fixtures, that kind of thing. There's lots of little nooks and crannies where you can hide wires, so even though it is like a basic skeleton of a system, you can actually make it quite tidy, which again, hopefully I'll be able to do when I come around to do my build in it. So some of the other nice features about this, on the side you've got these grab handles, and even with the fabric mesh on there, you can still use the grab handles to carry your PC around. And again, because it's quite lightweight, again, depending on what you put inside it, this could be the ideal traveling rig to LAN parties, gaming sessions, that kind of thing. Quite easy to pick up and maneuver around. Again, if you're going to be walking along from like a train station to your friend's house, it's not going to be massively heavy, and people aren't going to automatically assume it's a computer, because with the cloth side panels on, they may think it's a washing basket or something, who knows. But it's quite a crazy idea, it really is. Inwin have never been one of the companies to kind of hold back on computer chassis designs. Some of their more modern designs are completely off the hook in terms of actual aesthetics. They're so far away from your kind of generic vanilla PC case, it's unbelievable. But again, this is designed with kind of modders, test benching, all that kind of stuff in mind. The only real limit to this chassis is your imagination and how far you're willing to take it. I'm planning on using the inwin fans, the RGB fans with my system. I'm going to put 3 fans on the bottom, I'm going to put 1 RGB fan on the top. I may well put some additional RGB lighting strips inside it as well. It will be as crazy or as mad as you want it to be, or again, it can be as simple as you want it to be. If you just want to stick a motherboard power supply in there and just do some testing, no problems whatsoever. Now, at the price point that this is, at the moment in the UK, you're looking around about £50 for this, which for an ATX chassis with the covers, obviously ventilation is going to be amazing on it. It's essentially is completely open in this particular guise with the dust covers on. Then you're going to get ventilation coming up from the bottom, and natural convection is going to take the heat straight up and out of the top of the chassis. And again, if you put your 110mm fan in the top here, that's just going to be pulling all this air straight out. It actually ticks a lot of boxes. It's really surprising kind of how good this is, considering how little of it there is, if that makes any sense. But anyway, this has been the unboxing and first look at the inwin Alice open air PC chassis. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. Do you think it's just completely ugly and is no use to anybody? Or do you think this is kind of unique and you think you can make something really nice out of it? I know we did a brief unboxing of this on our Saturday night stream, and there was quite a few comments between it being amazing and them wanting to get their hands on it, and other people who were kind of like, what is that? So this isn't going to please everybody, and essentially it's not designed for that. It's designed for those that are creative, want to make something a little bit different, and want to make a little bit of a display PC. So there you go, there has been the inwin Alice. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.